For people buying their first car on a budget, one of the biggest questions that they ask is whether to get a small city car or a small crossover. Now, while most small crossovers come in at the 1 million peso mark or even higher, there are some offerings that are offered at the price of a small city car. One such offering is the CHERY TIGGO 2, and in this Comparo, we will see how it compares against one of the most popular city cars being offered in the local market, the Honda BRIO RS. Let's do this! Commuting in the tropics can be tough. It's either too hot or too wet. Riding a motorbike, well, that doesn't solve the problem because you're still exposed to the elements. That takes us to the four-wheeled option, a basic car that can take you from point A to point B without relative fuss and in very good air-conditioned comfort. Now, the two offerings I have here may be of a different class, but they come in at the same price point. The Honda BRIO RS Blacktop here retails for 735,000 Philippine pesos, while the CHERY TIGGO 2 AT comes in at 770,000 Philippine pesos. Both these models are marketed as a top spec variant, and while it's a bit of a no-brainer to go straight for the small crossover, let's not count the small city car out just yet. In this Comparo, we will dive deep into the relevant stuff that will help you when it comes to your decision. We will use the following categories as we compare the two cars: exterior looks, interior build quality, tech features, practicality in terms of usable space, drive performance, and lastly, cost of ownership. Now, at the end of the video, we will determine which of these two cars is the overall value pick of this Comparo. Let's begin. Looks can be subjective, and since these two cars that we are comparing belong to two different car categories, this is as subjective as we can get. The CHERY TIGGO 280 that I have here is a handsome little crossover that has a unique look that it could truly call its own. It does have some design cues that it took from the larger TIGGO 5X and TIGGO 7, but it blended them well into this tiny, handsome package. This TIGGO 280 also has this floating black roof design, which is new for this model. And this is something that you could see in pricier crossovers, but it's also present in the TIGGO 2 as well. Now, despite being the smallest crossover in CHERY's lineup, the TIGGO 2 still does a good job in looking a little bit larger than its actual size. It also sports this handsome 16-inch wheels, which is a little bit larger than the 15-inch wheels found in the Honda BRIO RS. Now, the BRIO RS is a sporty little hatch with a good number of sporty cues that should satisfy any budding enthusiast. In this black top trim and yellow color, it looks pricier than its segment would suggest. It also has this blacked out RS front grille here, which adds more to that sporty vibe, and it sports these 15-inch wheels, which may seem like they're a little bit on the small side, but for a small hatch, it's sized quite right. Now, since both of these cars look handsome in their own categories, well, I'll have to give a tie to the exterior looks department. They each have their own approach when it comes to the exterior looks and design, and I didn't see any niggles that would make either of them lose a point. So it's a tie when it comes to exterior looks. Now, given the price point, you really shouldn't expect much when it comes to the interior cabin materials of the BRIO RS. Well, it truly lives up to that kind of expectation because we are surrounded by mostly hard plastics. There's an effort to add a little bit of splash and color here and there because you've got these orange accents here on the dashboard plus some orange design and stitching on your seats. But, well, the biggest drawback for the Honda BRIO RS is the type of material that they use for the highest touch point areas inside the car. That would be the steering wheel and the shift knob. You don't get a leather-wrapped steering wheel here. Instead, this is urethane material. And I have to say, Honda's urethane isn't even the softest that you can find in the market. So it loses a little bit of points when it comes to that. The seats of the BRIO are also your typical econo seats that are quite well known for when it comes to Honda, which means that they're kind of on the thin side and a little bit on the firm side as well. Now, The fit and finish of the BRIO RS is decent for the price point. It's not really, it's not bad. It's also not good. It's just middle of the road, guys. So just don't expect too much when it comes to plushness in the interior, because that's not something that the BRIO RS can offer you. Now let's head over to the Tiggo 2 and check out what it can offer us. The Tiggo 2 may be the best value for money when it comes to the interior, because you won't feel too shortchanged here. You got a leather wrap steering wheel here that really feels nice to the touch, and although your shift knob is made of urethane, it still has this glossy black plastic finish to it that adds a better design to the shifter. Now there's an effort here to add an upscale touch to the entire cabin despite its low price. You've got your hard plastics here, but surprisingly, the hard plastics feel a little bit softer than the ones found in the BRIO. You also get your metal accents here on your door panels and your faux carbon fiber design here in the dash, which should give you that feeling that you're in a pricier vehicle. Now when it comes to seats, the Tiggo 2 seats are softer and better cushioned than the ones found in the BRIO RS. It also has some nice leather inserts to the side, which adds more to that pricey upscale feel as well. So given the better seats, the leather steering wheel, the nicely designed shifter, and the better execution of the interior, I'll have to give the win to the Tiggo 2 when it comes to the interior build quality and materials. Now the BRIO RS has a decent set of tech features and amenities, such as a 7-inch infotainment system here with Bluetooth connectivity. You get 6 speakers as well, and practically not much else. You don't get Apple CarPlay, you don't get Android Auto, and you don't even get a reverse camera. Not that you'd expect these kinds of amenities at this price point, because, well, this is really just a basic city car that will take you from point A to point B. Now, even with the sporty flavor of the BRIO RS on the outside, the inside is as basic as you can get. Now, let's go over to the Tiggo 2 and see if it shares the same level of tech feature set. Now, the Tiggo 2 may come in at the same price level or almost at the same price level, but they sure didn't strip it down too much. You get an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system here with Bluetooth connectivity and even a phone mirroring capability. Now, you only get 4 speakers in the Tiggo 2 against the 6 speakers found in the BRIO RS Blacktop, but it's compensated by the fact that this Tiggo 2 also has a rear view camera, rear parking sensors, and even a cruise control feature. Now, these amenities and features can be found in pricier crossovers. So since the Tiggo 2 is fully loaded with these kinds of tech at its price point, well, I'll have to give the win again for the tech features category to the Tiggo 2 AT. Now, it would be easy to discount the BRIO RS when it comes to the cabin space practicality department, because it is a small city car going against a small crossover. But this BRIO RS takes a page from the larger Jazz, because even the rear passenger space is commodious for a city car. You got a great amount of knee room here and a good amount of legroom as well, at least for a guy who's 5'6". The thing is, the rear seats are still better suited for 2 passengers, with a third in a pinch. Now, the deal breaker here is the trunk capacity. Being a hatchback, well, the BRIO RS can only have 258 liters of trunk capacity. Now, that may seem a little bit on the big side when it comes to these hatchbacks, but it's no match when you're comparing it against a small crossover. The Tiggo 2's back seat is decent, at least for a small city crossover. You got a decent amount of knee room here and a good amount of legroom as well, at least for a guy who's at 5'6". If you're taller than me, well, you might find this a little bit on the tight side. Now, just like the BRIO RS, the backseat of the Tiggo 2 is best suited for 2 passengers, but it could still accommodate a third guy in a pinch. Now, when it comes to trunk space, the Tiggo 2 has nearly twice as much capacity as that of the BRIO RS. The Tiggo 2 has 450 liters of trunk capacity, so if you're the type of guy who always hauls stuff on the regular, well then the CHERY TIGGO 2 AT would be the better choice for you, because it takes the round when it comes to usable space and practicality. The CHERY TIGGO 2 is equipped with a 1.5-liter naturally aspirated engine that's good for 106 horses and 136 Newton meters of torque. It's a little bit more powerful than the BRIO RS, but it also carries a lot more weight than the smaller car, 208 kilos to be exact. Now that weight penalty can be felt while you're driving this car around the city because it doesn't accelerate as much as the other city cars in the segment. It also doesn't handle as well. It's a little bit sluggish in terms of the handling, maybe because of that weight. Well, when you're comparing it to a city car. And because of its larger footprint, it will be a little bit more of a challenge to navigate tight city roads or traffic than, let's say, the BRIO RS. Now, this Tiggo 2 is also equipped with the 4-speed automatic transmission, so I really don't know if which one to choose actually, either the CVT that's found in the BRIO RS or this archaic 4-speed automatic transmission. But the good thing here is the power is decent enough for city roads, and it could acquit itself well even if you are quite loaded inside because the gearing of the 4-speed automatic is also quite low, so that gives you a lot more power and torque at the bottom part of the rev range. The thing is, the weight penalty can also be felt in the fuel efficiency as well because this CHERY TIGGO 2 can only do around 8 kilometers per liter when you're driving in the city and around 15 kilometers per liter if driving in the highway and if you have a light foot. So it's a little decent, but it's not really something that you'd write home about. Anyway guys, so let's switch cars now and see what the Honda BRIO RS can offer us. Now despite its sporty flavor, the BRIO RS is no hot hatch. It only has 89 horsepower and 110 Newton meters of torque, plus it's mated to a CVT transmission. Honda's objective when it comes to the BRIO RS is quite clear. It wants to maximize on fuel efficiency, and it achieves just that. The Honda BRIO RS can do around 9 kilometers per liter in the city and a massive 20 kilometers per liter on the highway. And that is way better than the fuel economy that the CHERY TIGGO 2 can muster. Now, given the fact that the Honda BRIO RS is also a lighter and smaller vehicle than the CHERY TIGGO 2, it could also handle better, especially in tight city roads like the one I'm going through now. And it could also feel a little bit zippy when you're going around town, despite having a smaller engine at only 1.2 liters. So, for the fact that the BRIO RS can give you a much easier driving experience, plus it can return really stellar fuel economy, I will have to give the win for driving performance to the Honda BRIO RS. Priced at 735,000 Philippine pesos, the BRIO RS Blacktop is cheaper than the CHERY TIGGO 280 because this Tiggo 2 comes in at 770,000 Philippine pesos. That's a paltry price difference of only 35,000 pesos. Now, despite this price difference, the Tiggo 280 also comes with a free, you get this guys, free 3-year preventive maintenance service package. CHERY Philippines would even go to your own home to conduct that free PMS in your garage. So that also saves you on time and fuel as well. Now, on top of that free PMS, CHERY will also give you a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty versus the 3-year warranty that the Honda BRIO RS has. So given this lengthy warranty plus this free preventive maintenance service package from CHERY Philippines, I'll have to give the win for the cost of ownership category to the CHERY TIGGO 280. In the end, the CHERY TIGGO 280 emerged as the overall value pick in this Comparo. It has a larger space inside plus better seats, and the cabin materials are a little bit better as well. It has more tech features and amenities, plus it has that awesome support package that comes from CHERY Philippines that makes this such a compelling vehicle at its price point. So if you need the extra space and you want the tech features and amenities that can be found in pricier crossovers, well then the CHERY TIGGO 280 is the car for you. The BRIO RS answers the needs of a very specific group of drivers. It's for people who don't want to pilot a larger vehicle and they want to have stellar fuel economy. So if you drive by yourself most of the time and you don't have a need for a large trunk, plus you value stellar fuel economy, well then the Honda BRIO RS Blacktop is the car that matches your needs. Once again, thank you guys for watching one of my comparos. I love doing these videos for you guys, so it would be great if you could give this video a like and subscribe to my channel as well. Once again, I'm Reagan and I'll see you again in another video. Bye-bye.